What's up? It's Cape Sipes Custom Audio Reimagined, and today we're going to start on this 2014 Mercedes E-Series. It's going to get a full Helix setup, so let's get into it. This is a nice car. It's loud. He's got something done to the exhaust. It sounds meaner than hell. This is more my speed, more my comfort zone. I don't know why, but luxury cars and higher end cars, exotic cars, those are kind of what I enjoy working on. And I think the main reason is because the customers know what they have. The person that owns this car, they know what they have. They know it's an expensive car. They know it's not easy to do, and they never expect anything to be cheap. They never give me crazy deadlines because they would rather have it done right and sit here for 3 weeks than have it done quickly and maybe done incorrectly and get it back in a couple days. So like this customer, he told me he don't care when he gets it back. He said I could have it here for a month. Now that's not gonna happen. My plan is to have this thing done by Thursday, and today is Tuesday. So we're getting a late jump on this install because my equipment didn't come in. I thought this would be here last Friday. Normally, whenever I order anything from MSC, which is Helix, and you know, all the crazy German stuff that I use, but this didn't show up. I think I ordered it last Tuesday and it didn't show up until last night. And then I still have tweeters coming tomorrow. So we're kind of getting a slow jump here. But what we've got the Helix Compose speaker adapters, which Mercedes, they have these special adapters. They're kind of a pain to get. And when you do get ones from companies that are like standard car audio companies, they're very cheap and flimsy. These things are like heavy duty. These things are super thick, rigid. So there's a reason why they want you to go with those. Then we also got the Compose i3s. We have a 6.5-inch mid bass. We're still waiting on the tweeters tomorrow to come in. Then we have a 6.5-inch coaxial. We're going to be interfacing using the Mobridge because this vehicle has what's called the MOS 25. It's a fiber optic audio system. Then we're going to come out of this with a Toslink fiber optic, and we're going to go into this Up 8, which is the Match Up 8. It's a 8-channel amplifier with a DSP. It's got the output that we can run to the sub amp because in the trunk, he already has some equipment he wants me to put along with this equipment. I honestly don't know. When he dropped off the vehicle, I kind of saw it, but I really didn't see what he has. So let's go ahead and check out and see what he left for me. Oh Lord, that's a big box. We have a Rockford Fosgate monoblock. A little disappointing. He told me he had an epicenter. I don't know if we're going to be able to use this. And then we have, what is this? Oh my God, this box is big. This is definitely not what I would prefer in this vehicle. It's a JLW6. We're going to have to flip this box around and kind of figure out what's going on or see if this is ported. It's one of those situations where I wish I could be, I would have ordered the sub and amp, and it just would have been a little bit better, but we're gonna work what we got. And if the customer decides later that he would like it to be a little bit cleaner, then we can maybe talk about that. So right there is that's like as far forward as I can take it. So that's where it's gonna be sitting. It's a pretty big box and it is ported with a giant slot port right here. I personally would have went with 2 or 3 10s that I could have tucked all the way up to where the back seat is. It is what it is. We're gonna work with that. And the amp, I know nothing about Rockford Fosgate anymore. As far as the sub and the bass and everything goes in this car, I'm kind of having to take a back seat and I can't take responsibility for how it sounds. Went on a little goose hunt. I took the rear deck out. All the information about this vehicle was telling me that the amplifier was up in the rear deck by the subwoofer, but it wasn't there. So then I pulled out here, which I always thought they were right there in that corner, but there's something else there, but I found it. So it's hiding on the left side. So I guess if somebody else has one of these cars, this guy has the Harman Kardon, I believe Logic 7 is what it's called. And like I said, all the information says that it's up in the rear deck, but obviously it's right there. Now it's 6 o'clock and I don't feel like staying late. I don't really foresee any big problems with this car. And also the customer lifted any deadline from me. See you tomorrow. So it's day 2 on the Mercedes. Getting a little late start on it today because man, this morning has been busy with customers. Now last night when I left, I had found the amplifier. It was off to the side here. Here's what I was told. I will regurgitate this. It may be incorrect, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. I'm sure the internet will let me know if I'm wrong. The reason that amp is there is because this is an AMG. And apparently, if it's an AMG, that is where they relocate the amplifier due to this air ride. Because that's the factory air tank there with air ride, which I guess is an AMG option. Regardless, there's the amplifier. Kind of sucks. I really thought I would know where the amp was, not yesterday, but earlier, you know, I kind of thought I knew where it was. Now, because the customer thought that that sub amp was the amplifier, I asked him before he brought the car to send me a picture of the harness for the amplifier, because these guys over Helix, Match, you know, all the stuff going in here, they make harnesses that will plug into their amplifiers for these cars, but they didn't know which one he had. When he sent me that picture, I sent it to them and they're like, nope, not covered. Now that I found the real amp, I went, wait a minute. So this morning I hit them up and they do have the harness for this car. It's not gonna plug right in to my up 8, which is what they normally do. I'm still gonna have to cut off the end, but that's fine because the color codes are all gonna make sense. The beautiful thing is I'll be able to plug it right into that plug and then tone off of my other ends what speakers are what. It's gonna save me hours and hours of time. We are not gonna mess with the trunk today at all because I need the harness. So today we're gonna pull the door panels and make sure that our adapters are correct, the speakers are gonna fit, and everything's gonna work fine. I mean, I could sit here and tell you how to take the door panels off as if I remember. I don't remember my wife's birthday, our anniversary. I don't remember really what I did 2 days ago. So I don't remember any of these cars really, just to be honest. So I'm gonna go ahead and give props to this guy right here because his explanation on how to take door panel off is so like just good and clean that I'm totally using him. So exotic car DIY. I have no idea who he is. I just Googled Mercedes Z-Class door panel removal. He popped up and it's just a very good video without any bullshit. It's just straight to the point. So props to that guy, whoever you are, appreciate it. Anything that saves you time and so you don't make mistakes, don't be embarrassed to ask for help or to Google anything. If it's on YouTube, I mean, people do it to me all the time. They use my videos to figure out how to do stuff. So I use other people's videos to figure out how to do stuff. If you want to know how to take them off, dude, just watch this video. It's better than what I'm gonna be able to show you. So you just have to take your time, be careful. So I'm gonna get these pulled off and we'll see what's behind them. Now we're gonna start looking at these speakers and these adapters. I've never used these before. I have never used their adapters. They call their adapters flex mounts. So even on here, it talks about how the speakers are made for flex mounts. So we will figure out what makes these so special. I was kind of expecting them to have like the factory speaker plugs kind of like molded into them. I have never seen these before, but let's check them out. Now the tweeters are being delivered today. They were back ordered, so they did not come with these because we got tweeters going up in the top of the doors. Well, let me go ahead and get these unpackaged and I'll show you. Now you may ask, you know, can't feel nothing about it. Why'd you order all this stuff? Well, again, I don't know everything. I know enough to be dangerous, but when it comes to time crunch, I really am tired of getting the wrong stuff. I'm tired of cars sitting here because I'm missing a piece or I don't have this or I don't have that. So I rely on the company sometimes. So this 100% everything ordered for this vehicle was designed and decided by the guys at Helix because this is what they do. I don't know what worked best in this car. I asked them. They gave me different levels. Said the guy didn't want to go crazy. He just wanted something to make the system better for the year or two he's going to have this car. And this is what they recommended. Oh, well, damn. These flex mounts are something special with these speakers. So I just wanted to, you know, line it up, see how it goes. So there it is. Let's see if I can push it down one-handed. Hold on. Here, snap. Ready? Huh? Dude, that thing like locks in place. Totally flush. Yeah, that's legit. It's pretty nice. That's the nicest I've ever seen a speaker lock into a speaker adapter, that's for sure. All right, so this is gonna be one of my little tech tips. I know I don't do a lot of these, and this is what people want when they watch my videos. But honestly, if I do too much like tips like this, people won't watch, only the installers will, and I don't get a lot of views anyway, but it really drives away anybody that's not an installer. I'm thinking about doing like a member section where I can put all these tips and stuff, where that's where installers could go and watch like those more in-depth videos. So here we have the front speakers in the Mercedes. As you can see, they are riveted in. What I see a lot of people do is they'll just grab a drill bit and they'll drill it out. You know, just drill them rivets out. Yeah, I mean, you can, but it's gonna be sloppy. You're gonna deform the hole. It's probably gonna bend the metal. It's never really clean. Now, the way you're supposed to do it is with like a drift, but I don't have one. A drift's like almost like a center point. I don't know how to explain what they are. Just a skinny metal that you can hammer on, but you can do it with a punch tool. So if you take a punch tool, put it in the center, and then the punch tool will actually do quite a bit of the work. You can punch it. Then, if you want, you punch it, hold it in there, grab a hammer, which I have this fine old school wooden handle. And while it's in like this, you can hit the backside of it. You're not gonna knock the center out by doing this. You'll probably break your punch if you hit it hard enough to knock the center out. So you're just tapping it, but what you're doing is you're working the hard steel past the aluminum ring just enough that then you can easily take a drill bit and you'll be able to drill out the center only. So you wanna have a bit that's only gonna fit in the center. So you can drill that and that'll push that metal right through, nice and clean, and then you'll deal with this section. So let me go ahead and take this out. Now the other thing you gotta remember, window is down. So right behind here, we have glass. You don't have stops that you put on your bits. Take Gorilla Tape, wrap it around your bit to where you want it to stop. So when you go in, because it's gonna push, you don't go through and slam into the glass and shatter the glass. You could just roll the window up, but I've got this all unplugged and I don't want to turn the ignition on this car with everything unplugged. So I should have had the window up to begin with, but it's too late now. So as you can see, the Gorilla Tape, pull this out, and I've drilled out the center. So the center is now gone. Basically a rivet, you have a rivet gun, you put the rivet in, you squeeze the gun, you push this piece of steel that goes into the center, and then the outside here is soft aluminum. The soft aluminum will expand and kind of create a bubble on the backside, and that basically is what creates the connection. The steel in the center is hard, the aluminum is soft. That's why if you take a drill bit, try to drill it, you'll end up grabbing the soft aluminum and you'll either go in cockeyed and screw up your hole, or the whole thing will just start spinning on you, which is then gonna mess up the hole. That's how you get the hole all deformed and jacked up. If you get the center out of there, now we'll take a bit that's bigger, which will be this one, and we'll go in there and we'll drill this. It'll grab that cap and then we can turn it and it'll just pop right off. There, bit. Turn this. Cap is gone. There's the ring. Cap is gone. So at this point, you could pop this off, or you could go ahead and drill this out perfectly straight if you wanted, because now you're not going to get all deformed. It just depends. If you need the hole to stay the same size, then obviously you're not going to want to drill it out. So you could take an actual tool like this right now, and I could, look, just pop that speaker right past the rings. Perfectly clean holes for me to put nut zerts in there, or whatever I want to use to thread in the new speakers. Now the back speakers, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how these come out. There's no screws, there's no rivets, there's nothing. You won't believe what you have to do to take out the rears. You have to destroy the speaker. How weird is that? You have to cut the speaker cone out, and there's rivets behind the cone. So this whole panel here that's riveted in, They obviously have separately out the vehicle, they put the speaker in and then they rivet it from apparently the backside. And there it is. So with the speaker cut, there's one, and there's one, and there's another one right there. And yeah, see, that's the backside of a rivet. So they riveted on from the other side. That's crazy. See how it expands? Wife just called and let me know the dinner's ready, and I'm at a point where I'm just gonna go ahead and stop. Did get the rears out. This is one of those things where you look and you're like, what engineer thought that this was a good idea? Like, there is no reason for this. It's so much extra work. It's just extra dumb. But these awesome flex fit adapters, now I understand, because see, the mounting holes are on the inside, and I was confused when I saw that. Now I get it. But that's it. That's it for day 2. It's kind of day 1 at the end, because day 1 I really didn't do that much, and day 2 I kind of didn't do that much. So you take both those days, put them together, and that's one day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.